welcome to the Wow Factor Radio, brought to you by the Rocky Mountain Horse Expo. I am your host, Chris Garrett, and my guest today is Val Geissler. Welcome, Val.
Hey, Chris, I'm glad to be here, and I'm standing by.
Now, Val, you have such an interesting life story. I know you are a long-time horseman with experiences most of us have only dreamed of or seen in the movies, and you have become something of a reluctant movie star yourself. Tell us about you, who you are, and what you're up to.
Well, I'm just an old cowboy. That's all I ever wanted to be as a kid growing up was a cowboy, and I was convinced I could do that by my dad. Instead of, like my mom, she wanted me to be a doctor or a lawyer or an Indian chief, but Dad said, you want to be a cowboy, just be the best one you can be. Don't have to be the best, just the best you can be. And I just ran with it from there, and that's all I've done all my life, and primarily drifted toward training and that, and working with horses from that capacity.
Now, I know that a lot of people will recognize your voice and your face if they've looked on their computer to see what you look like from the movie Unbranded. How did you get involved in that?
Well, that started out, Chris, in 2010 when Ben Masters, who was the head of my boys from Unbranded, he rode the Continental Divide Trail from Mexico to Canada. And he wanted to do something like that again from Mexico to Canada, only put it on film and do that. And he had this brainstorm, and somewhere in late 2010 or early 2011, he was in touch with me, and when I met him, he wanted to guide and do all that stuff and take hunts out and stuff up here in Wyoming. I got him a job with an outfitter, and he did that, and then he turned around and he just kind of used me as a consultant and somebody to run different ideas by that he had. Like he says in the book he signed to me, said I kind of been with him from the get-go, almost from his conception of doing this and then leading into the Unbranded film. But it was his baby, and he just used me as a sounding board a lot and then asked me to help him out physically in it, and I went down to do that and had no desire or anything. I've been around the movie screen business just a little bit. It isn't my life, and however, the film crew in the beginning saw kind of a good relationship that formed between Uncle Val and the boys, and that just became a little story within the big story of the Unbranded film and taking all the Mustangs from Mexico to Canada.
Now, you have a lot of experience with Mustangs besides the film?
Oh, yeah. I was involved with gathering Mustangs and getting them in various parts, kind of a little bit of eastern Oregon, parts of Nevada, northern California, and that was before the federal government took control of them back there in the, somewhere I think around 74, somewhere back in there. It was before that time. And so I've trained and broke and did a lot with wild horses before the government was in charge of them.
Now, I understand you also do cowboy poetry as well as sing and dance. Tell us about that.
Well, I don't know about the dance part of the sing and dance, but I guess maybe I have danced while I was singing a little bit. But anyhow, yeah, I enjoy life, and I've been able to be kind of a lot of people, I don't drink a whole lot, and a lot of people say, well, you don't need to. You're more uninhibited sober than most people are drunk. And so, anyhow, Chris, I just sing a tune, or I sing some tunes, and I've told some poems, and I've enjoyed life, and liked riding bucking horses at one time, and dancing with pretty ladies and doing all that, and by golly, that's it, like you say. And I have that album out now that runs with the Unbranded film called Border to Border, and Border to Border, if anybody has that the DVD that they bought, and there are some bonus features on that DVD. Now, in the regular part of the movie of the DVD, Unbranded, at the end when they do the credits, they'll see where a song that actually just a verse or so was recorded in the movie, and then I did the whole thing at the end of where they do all the credits, and that just that was recorded in a sound studio, and we got that done. And then once they had that done, Phil Baraboo, my boy that was primarily the principal cinematographer on the film Unbranded, he come down and they did the things, and they ended up making a music video of the song Border to Border with me involved in the music video, and we just went from there, and it's a bonus feature on the DVD.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I'm looking forward to that. Now, I know the movie Unbranded will be played at the Rocky Mountain Horse Expo up on the 3rd floor, the top floor of the Hall of Education, during the Expo, so people can come by and see you and get a copy of Unbranded, and maybe even get you to sign the back of one. Would you do that?
Well, I'm going to do that now. According to whatever I know about it, the Mustang people, I can't say for sure. I know I have to meet with the legislators, some people like that, at one of the filmings, and, you know, you got to do all that schmoozing stuff, Chris, but
yeah.
That's okay. But I think there is a Expo booth with about the BLM of the Mustang horses.
We'll look for you at the BLM Mustang booth, but regardless, you'll be there. Are you going to be bringing your guitar with you?
I probably better. My wife Cindy will say, honey, better take your guitar. And I'll say, well, somebody probably have one there. And she says, well, just in case, haul yours down there. And it isn't going to be a bad flight for it from Cody to Denver. And I'm there for whatever they want me to help them get done with there. I guess that's kind of what I am.
So you're in Cody, Wyoming, is that correct?
Yeah. I live about 5-6 miles out of Cody, on the South Fork Road. Got a little, I call it a horse camp out here, because we break and train, and we do a lot of work with horses, and that's kind of what we've done. Been running them mountains for a lot of years, and it's a way of life that we like, and like I said, I never decided or thought I wanted to be a doctor, lawyer, or an Indian chief, so this is what I is.
Well, it was very fun watching you in the movie. I know you were one of the favorite characters, and Richard said he helped some with the editing, and people kept saying, can we get more of that guy? We want more of that guy. And so your part in the movie that was just supposed to be as support for the guys ended up being a big part of the story. So it was very fun watching you. But I do have one question for you about that movie. How did they get the cactus spines out of the horses? Did you have to get a vet to knock them out?
No. You can do things out there where they were. You can take there's a lot of things you can do. You can lay them down and do that. Get them out, but one of the ways that's somewhat good is that they'll fall out by themselves if they aren't in a critical place, and of course you don't want them stuck in you anywhere. But a lot of times they'll just kind of fester and kind of like a little splinter will, and then they just kind of come out pretty doggone easy. It's a little bit like pulling porcupine quills out of a dog's nose and mouth.
Yeah. Boy, that was a scary part of the movie. Boy, really horrifying. Made me glad I live in Colorado.
It ain't horrifying, Chris. It's just life. If you live this life with these horses and doing it, people ask me, and it's funny how people ask me, well, how did you prepare for this, doing this and helping these boys? Now, the horse hands, the people that understand this, they knew how you prepare, but some people see the movie and love it, but they think oh, gosh, you got to go out and do some sort of a crash course. Well, the crash course for me was probably 66-something years of living it. That was my course on how I prepared for that, and I appreciate what you guys and what everybody seems to say, and I honestly do. But this movie has been extremely humbleizing to me, and I think kind of a whole lot more has been made of Uncle Val than probably ought to be made of Uncle Val. But thank you. That's all I can say.
Well, I don't know. I think you're a pretty special guy, and everyone I've talked to who knows you says the same thing. You're quite a gem and a rare breed, and we're so glad that you're going to be at the Expo where people can meet you and talk to you, hear you sing. It's going to be great. I'm so glad you're coming.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I got a lot of good friends down in that Colorado country, and so I'm supposing some of them will drift in, and maybe some that I've known back from a lot of years younger, and come up, and old buddies of mine probably say, hey, Val, you think I should be telling them about back and talk about 40-something years ago or something that, want to tell a story on me that, I don't know, it might be good, it might be bad, but whatever it is, it is. My life's pretty much an open book, and I don't have problems. I certainly haven't been perfect all my life by a long shot, but I've had a good one. It's been a great ride, and this ride with the boys, that might have just topped off. I think I've lived my bucket list, and that might be the thing that was the last thing. I'm sure I'll do something else, but I don't know. That might be the best thing I've been involved with, and having those boys and our relationship and all that formed from that movie.
And it's going to be a hard act to follow. Everybody got to see the kind of man you are and the work that you did with those horses and with those boys, and it's a great movie. I'm looking forward to seeing it again. Again, it's going to be playing at the Rocky Mountain Horse Expo, and you can purchase the video. I think it's available even on Netflix, isn't it?
It's it's available on Netflix, but you can order the film through, if you go on the Unbranded, and I can't work a computer, but if you go on the Unbranded site, it'll lead you to where you can order that, and I do know that at the Horse Expo, and if there's a difference, I'll let you know, Chris, but I do know they're going to have books, and I'm bringing down a bunch of my CDs, and I know they're going to have some DVDs down there for me to sign, and I don't know whether it's the BLM Mustang deal or the Mustang Heritage Foundation booth, but I'm sure we'll get that all worked out. Anybody who's really interested, we'll get them signed for them and meet and greet them and have a good time.
All right, and I'm sure they'll have the information up on the Rocky Mountain Horse Expo website, which is RockyMountainHorseExpo.com. So we'll be sure and make that there's a link that people can find you and know where you're going to be and what time. And I'm looking forward to meeting you, too. So we've got a couple weeks to go, and we will see you in Denver.
You're doggone right. We'll make it. And if the good Lord is willing and the creek don't go dry, why, I'll ride into Denver in a couple of weeks or something.
All right. We'll see you then. That's going to be March 11, 12, and 13 at the National Western Complex in Denver, Colorado. So we will see you then, Val. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it a bunch, honey. We'll see you.
We'll see you then, and thank you for joining us on the Wow Factor Radio. Join us again next week for a brand new show. This is Chris Garrett. Bye-bye.